And now we're back.
There she is. Oh my god!
The fuck am I looking at?
Freud was right!
Carl, they don't pay me enough for this shit. I can see why she hates everything if you look like that.
And look what's behind her! The Davis System core. She stole it.
That's what happened.
Oh dear.
Paradise, paved with the lives of many.
A place where nothing exists.
You villains and your nihilistic ways. I get so sick of that bullshit.
Well, we're gonna have to fight.
Alright, it's time for you to grow up, little girl.
It's time to close this box for good. Now, Pandora, she actually has two forms, by the way. Yeah, this is just her first form. And pretty awesome music, but not as good as the original theme.
The original theme from Revelations is just plain fucking intimidating.
It's perhaps the personification of nihilism. Perhaps. Anyway.
And if you want to, say you want to, you could mute us out, and you could turn the theme on, and then compare it with the video. And see how well it fits.
Yeah, you could do that.
Or you could just put it aside and, watch it right afterwards. It's your choice.
Yeah. Anyway, the first form has 5,826 HP at level 85 of the Deity Order.
Persona!
And Bufudine, Petrama, Tyrakaja, Rakukaja, and Evil Smile.
Here goes!
Oof.
And apparently she has a weakness, I believe. I think she's weak to guns. She's also weak to this!
The
Oof.
one attack. Nice!
Yep. So yeah, this is Maki's ultimate expression of nihilism. And I think that I guess there's a good way to symbolize why Hieroglyphin is so effective against her. It symbolizes Yuya and Maki's friendship overcoming her nihilism.
Huh. And so, the personification of nihilism, let me put this in context, is a giant penis human centipede, a Geiger creation?
Then again, remember what I said, this is only her first form.
I suppose.
Oh yeah, she also has another technique, Paralyzed Puncture, which obviously I believe inflicts paralysis. Remember, paralysis counts as death.
In short, she'll cheap your ass if you're not careful.
Yeah, this is why you want to have magical guards up at all times.
And then there's also Makar Karn too on that end.
That's what Makar Karn is, magical guard.
Here goes!
Oh yeah.
I really like this track. Like, not as good as the Revelations one, but it's still good in its own right.
Yeah,
Do it to it!
it's Persona-esque, but it's not fitting to Persona 1's nature. It's good track and fits, I guess, okay, it does fit the fight, but it kind of fits more of the modern games, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I feel like a bit of something was lost from the original take on Pandora.
You know, which is why if I were in charge of another game, I would still make a DLC battle track be the original Pandora theme, but remastered and remixed. And I'm not talking like this. I'm talking about the original melody. Because imagine that, but sounding much more modern.
Well, I think the other thing is that the reason why our attack is so effective with our Persona because it represents the very opposite of basically everything that Pandora believes in. It believes in possibility. Pandora sees no possibility. She only sees death.
Here goes.
Oh yeah, in case you haven't noticed, Pandora's weak to guns.
Oh yeah, as you said. Which oddly, it's funny that the enemies that have been weak to guns oddly claim themselves to be gods, but then they get taken down by a weapon made by man. Irony.
Persona.
Yeah, again, Kandori himself was no god. He was still a mere human.
Albeit then his second form kinda justified it a bit.
Even though it was still weak to guns.
Well, true, but it still kind of conformed to that. I guess you could look at it from that angle.
And yes, I'm aware there's slowdown in this fight. And oddly enough, in the second phase, there is no slowdown.
Here goes.
I don't know why there is in this fight.
Maybe because they spent a little more on the animations of Pandora's first form as opposed to the second.
I don't know. Anyway. Oh! First form done.
Though, oddly this track would sound very... It actually sounds like something from Raito Kuzunoha.
Oh, damn, man. Watch this. It was just a cocoon!
I don't think so.
And now the second phase. This is where Pandora is at her strongest.
Clearly.
She is level 99 now. 15,000 HP. By the way.
Nice.
But the thing is, she can attack twice. And she can actually change her affinities by changing the color of her hair. When she has blue hair, she resists physical attacks, obviously. Namely, with blue hair, she resists wind, blast, miracle, weapons, and guns. But she's weak to fire, earth, electric, nuclear, gravity, and curse. With red hair, however, she absorbs fire, wind, earth, electricity, nuclear, and gravity, repels ice, resists curse, but is weak to miracle and physical.
Honestly, if we actually did see Pandora's form, like, as a bonus boss, I'd say it'd be ironically beautiful.
Most likely, yes. Symphony of Lament. That causes guilt status on all enemies. And of course, guilt status means you can't attack.
Get funky.
At least on the plus side, that when she does change her, change her affinities, she takes a turn.
Yeah, but on the negative side, when she does this, is random.
That's...
Unfortunately, her 15,000 HP is shared between her two forms.
Okay.
Persona.
So it's just a matter of wearing her down.
Gotcha.
Anyway, in her second form here, with red hair, she has Mabufudine, Mary Karen, Decover, Desanga, which obviously means no persona change for 3 turns, Wing Flap for light damage, and Butterfly Storm, which inflicts damage and random status ailments on all enemies. In short, it's not something you want to deal with, so that's why you want to have magical guards up at all times.
Actually, you know, considering that P5 will be coming out,
Here goes.
I would honestly like it if they actually did revisit, you know, some of the more enemies from some of the other games in the series as kind of a nice hallmark to things.
Who knows? I mean, I'm not holding my breath or anything. I'm just, I might be surprised, I guess. Ugh, Tarunda.
Persona.
Well, to be fair, I would just want to see them in HD and how they'd look in a modern kind of console setting. I guess maybe the inner graphics. No, I just like to see this form in HD, I guess, or I'd like to see pretty much like Kandori's final round in HD or something like that. That'd be cool.
Anyway, with blue hair, Pandora has Tarunda, Rakukaja, Dekaja, Meteorama, Symphony of Lament, obviously which causes guild status, and all guard, which completely protects her from all attacks for 1 turn.
Get funky.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's all familiar to another fight later on in the series, I believe. Wing flap.
Well, yeah, not just that, but I'm also referring to another ability, though, too.
What ability?
In self-defense!
Oh, that. Anyway. So, yeah, it's all a matter of wearing her down. And, seriously, Pandora doesn't put up that much of a fight. Because because of all the magical guards I've put up. Yeah, I use magical guard instead of my card, obviously. Because I think items have slightly higher priority? Maybe?
Oddly, that's actually partially true in some SMT games, actually. I know Strange Journey, if say you're using an item, you get the first turn by default regardless.
Yeesh! That was a harsh critical.
Considering that beforehand she wasn't hitting that hard.
Wow, his effectiveness has been reduced.
Well, Tarunda kind of hit, to be fair.
That's true. So there's not much Maki can do except physicals and probably some healing. So yeah, pretty much I almost ran out of SP in this fight. I pretty much exhaust all of the protagonist's SP just to defeat her. Yeah.
She's that kind of boss.
Yeah, in case you haven't noticed, all of our Persona's skills, they cost 20 SP. That's what happens with the that's with the ultimate Personas. Their SP cost is 20.
Regardless of any move that you do, it's just how it works.
Yep, it also works that way in P2. And then they had to change it in P3 and onward.
And where they made it more standardized.
Yeah.
Albeit, to be fair, I think they did that also because at the time they had just done, like, let's see, Nocturne and... I'm not sure if Digital Devil Saga came out before or after P3, but I think they wanted it to be familiar to that type of gameplay.
Who knows?
Albeit just but even more accessible to those who aren't really, how should I say, SMT fans. Which I think they got a little too carried away with, but I think kind of PQ answered my question to that one, so...
So yeah, overall, just wear her down. She'll go down in no time. Well, she'll go down eventually.
This ain't something that you can finish on lunchtime.
Nah, it takes another. I think it takes maybe another 4 minutes or so. Proudy? I don't know.
Well, we're not lamenting anymore.
No.
All we can do is pity you, because you just don't get it.
And besides, this game in itself is traumatic.
There's not a thing that we don't cherish now.
I mean, seriously, did I just miss?
Yeah, you did.
Great. But yeah, it's hard to not feel sorry for Maki, considering all the hell she went through in this game. Even before then. I mean, living a life of nihilism and not able to change her life because she lacks the will to do it. Not to mention the fact that even after all this is resolved, she still has to live with the fact that she was responsible.
Though her friends don't hold it against her.
No, her friends don't. But there's also the fact that there will be some people other than the students who obviously will remember. But you know, even so, there's still the issue of Maki herself. Like I say, she has to live with those memories.
Persona!
That's true, but these are the things that we have to carry with us.
Because they're not just gonna go away.
We go into this world with the gifts that we are given, And then we go out just the same as we did when we began.
And ironically, it's through this whole journey that we actually all discover our true selves. Pretty much fitting into the actual motif of the game. As is revealed pretty much near the end of this video, actually. Oh, reflect.
Here goes.
But, yeah, I can't help but feel sorry for Maki. Let's just say, fate dealt her a cruel hand.
Especially with this going on top of everything.
I mean,
and everybody had to end up accidentally involved.
and that the thing is, even in Persona 2, she still feels that guilt, even after so many years have passed. That's why she does try to make amends. Butterfly Storm. Oh, phew. But yeah, she still has to live with those memories, and thus she tries her best to move on with her life, even trying to make amends.
At least that's showing that she feels that she has the will to do that.
Well, now she does. In fact, I will say this much: Maki does finally recover from her own illness after the events of this game, as she actually becomes just like her ideal self. Which in itself, I think, was a very good thing for her. But seriously, even from the outset, this series has been dark.
Even though the first two games, or basically 1 and 2 in its duology, are far, far, far darker than the more mainstream games of the series.
Who knows? That might change with P5. We don't know.
I honestly hope with P5 they actually kind of go to this while balancing the two natures of the two different ideologies of the two series altogether. Because honestly, I do kind of like the psychology that they went into with Persona 1.
And then also the facets of humanity's own shadows within their hearts in Persona 2.
I think with like P3 and P4, I just think it's a little too heavy-handed.
Oh well, what can you do?
With the bonds and friendship thing.
Then again, there is still truth to the whole thing, because there's no way you can survive by isolating yourself.
Well, true that, but
I know it's a bit too force-fed to us, I guess you could say.
especially considering all the spin-offs and such.
But then again, at least they're finally starting to actually end that particular storyline. Actually, for both P3 and P4. Yeah, with Ultimax as well as Dancing All Night actually is going to be the final game that features the Persona 4 gang. So yeah.
Providing that they don't come out with, say, Persona 4 Golden HD.
I'm not gonna knock on wood. I'm not gonna say anything.
You're not gonna be like Ted from Brain Scratch and say, there's gonna be no Majora's Mask 3D. I don't think it's gonna happen. Happens next week.
But no, I can see your point where it was starting to be dragging, but then again, it still remains the fact that people need to actually have bonds with people in order to actually have meaning in their lives.
Well, true, but I think I'd like to see P5 kind of show kind of the bad side to that.
Well, then again, do we really know for sure at this point?
I suppose not, but I would kind of like to see kind of a subversion or a version to that.
Then again, assuming we'll just make an ass out of you and me, so can we please stop theorizing?
I just think it's kind of wrong to force people, to have bonds with one another if they don't feel like that they're ready. You just don't do that. You have to go through them gradually like anyone else. I mean, It's also based on how you act and how you think and how you are. You're not just going to be like, I'm going to, it just don't work that way.
Persona!
And now it's time to close the box.
Forever.
Take that! Well, you still don't realize it? Or do you actually know now?
This song, it sounds familiar.
It's Maki's motif.
Oddly,
Yeah, because we're now alone and we believe in ourselves.
oddly,
Like I've been saying. You can't be isolated from the world, otherwise you're headed for a path of self-destruction. Like how Maki was. So thus, her nihilism is finally quelled.
And the butterfly is so symbolic in the fact that it also represents another possibility.
Butterflies also symbolize rebirth.
Guys, I think it's time to... Wooga, wooga, reality's going to crash here.
Actually, here's the thing. Maki's gonna send them back. Because, well, she can't go with us.
Well, and besides, I imagine all these aspects of Maki are getting absorbed into the real one.
Most likely. Oh!
Bye-bye.
And thus, she says goodbye.
I'll send all of you back to the real world.
But not before she does something.
1 second.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hope you'll still think about me at least once in a while. Goodbye. I love you.
And with that, she says farewell.
Goodbye.
And not just her. It's time to part ways with Philemon as well.
Nothing more need be said. I'm sure you have all discovered by now your true selves. The smiles you wear are no longer false masks. You may find yourselves troubled or suffering or lost in the future, but there is nothing to fear. Look to your soul for your true self. No matter what trials you may face, that will be enough for you to weather the storm. Now go forth into your bright futures.
And thus, there's no need to wear the mask anymore. Because, again, they now know their true selves, so why bother wearing a mask?
Wait. His face design.
Looks similar to the protagonist, doesn't it?
Not just that, it almost looks similar to a protagonist from SMT1.
Then again, If was also kind of a side story to both ST1 and Rider Kuzunoha. Though the world's eyes were on Mikakecho after the incident, normalcy eventually returned to the town.
So you say.
Despite the heavy media attention on SEBEC and Condori, the identities of the students central to the incident remained hidden.
But everyone in town knew.
But then again, time passed and the incident faded from people's minds. The young adults came away with a firm sense of their true selves as they took their first steps towards the unwritten future. The people forgot, but the children did not.
Isn't that always the case?
And thus, we flash forward to graduation day. Yep, everything's been resolved, and now they're heading towards their own futures. They just see Nanjo smile. And up, Maki's all better, too.
Yukino, and the rest of the gang.
Even Reiji.
Reiji's going to have a hilarious story waiting for us in B2.
Hilarious, yet heartwarming. Well, yeah, all of it you decided to show up anyway.
I suspect he has a reason for this.
Of course he does. Well, what's up, Reiji? They tell me he hides.
I wonder how they'll demonstrate this fact.
Oh, Brown.
Brown, you.
You card. Oh, you can look at him screaming in terror. That does sound like something worth witnessing. Oh.
And another side of hell has frozen over. Both Reichi and Nanjo agree.
Yeah. And not to mention they're actually a lot more mellow. Oh! Maki! She's smiling!
It's gonna take time, but...
But...
And with us, of all things.
Yeah. It's such a pity. Seriously, Masao. And he's like, you evil! And now he has a safe face. But anyway, yeah, if you choose a different person as your final party member, you find out their fate after this game.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I have no idea what happens to Ayase, but because obviously I have no idea what happens to her. It wasn't a dream though, it was all real. Pandora, eh? Oh yeah, he is. How can he not? Ah, hope. Yeah, let's go. Pretty much, Eriko, by the way, she becomes a model, actually. And as for Brown, he becomes, I guess you could say, a talk show host, I guess? If I remember correctly.
Yeah. That is correct. Oh. Here we are again.
Yep. Staring at a class photo. And not just that. The compact Pandora left behind. And thus, we find out what happens to the rest of the characters. First, Maki. With her illness completely cured, she matured into a cheerful, positive woman. She won an award at a major art exhibit and has received lucrative commission offers, but her priorities still lie with spending time with her mother. She was recently seen enjoying dinner with her mother and a man who seemed to be her boyfriend. And I'll say this much, in Persona 2, she actually becomes that of a psychiatrist. As for Mark, he won over his strongly opposed parents and went to New York on his own. His street art style has received critical acclaim, and news of his notoriety even reached Japan. His mother still passes him with phone calls every week.
Damn that whole old hag! Why won't you leave me alone?
Don't you call me an old hag, Masi!
Masi. Alright.
As for Nanjo...
Nanjo, I'll take. As part of his executive training, he took a job incognito as a salesman at a Nanjo Group subsidiary. After seeing how the rest of the world lived, he slowly became mellower. Some have spotted him sleeping on the train, wearing a tie embroidered with the phrase, "Number 1." Alright.
As for Reiji, with his vendetta settled, he was finally free to live his own life. He married a kind woman reminiscent of his mother shortly after graduation, and now has a child of his own. Mark joked that the child inherited Reiji's sharp tongue and standoffish personality. And look at that. See, remember I say he's called Six-Pack Leader at times?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't wear a shirt underneath his jacket.
As for you?
As for his fate, that's for you to decide.
Because he is you.
Mm-hmm. And with that, the SEBEC quest is over.
Hallelujah.
So thus, we close the book on this incident, and then in the new year, we tackle the Snow Queen quest.
We'll get the biggest case of blue balls that any RPG has ever given us.
And thus, Kawamura-san, take it away! With the song known as Voice. And by the way, I think in Revelations, the track that plays in the credits scene, the credits sequence, is actually that of Aria of the Soul. You recall hearing in the Persona 3 Reincarnation album, you recall hearing Aria of the Soul?
Yeah.
Basically, it's that. It's the same melody as that for Revelations' ending theme. Yeah. Whereas with the bad ending is, of course, the Persona theme. Dun, dun, dun. I really like this song. So yeah, that brings the SEBEC quest to an end. So overall, what were your thoughts on the game itself at this point? It's a nice beginning to the series.
It's a very rough beginning, but then again, baby steps.
Yeah. But of course, folks, if you thought things were dark in this game, you ain't seen nothing yet.
You'll see it also in the Snow Queen and in Persona 2.
In that duology, that's when things get really dark. Original version staff, Revelations Persona. Oh, good to see they get credited.
Well, to be fair, they're the reason why we're here.
Yeah.
Koji Okada.
And Kazuma Kaneko.
And then, no thanks to the English localization team.
Yeah, considering they sucked. Seriously.
Sir, people that we wish not to appear in this film.
Seriously. Why did you guys have to Americanize everything?
Yes, the worse than Pokemon did.
Or Sailor Moon.
That takes some doing.
Oh, unfortunately, Pokemon got better in regards to that. It didn't get as Americanized as it used to be.
US localization staff?
Yeah. I think it's for this game, not Revelations.
Yeah, because I think I recall Bill Alexander.
And Unamba?
Yeah, all PCP Productions.
So, yeah, overall, I like this game. It's a nice origin story for the Persona series. Actually, If is the true origin story, I guess you could say.
Or Ryder Kuzunoa, but whichever comes first. But either way...
Copyright 1996, 2009, Atlas. Gogito Ergo-san. I think, therefore I am. Finn.
Quite.
And thus, that brings this part of the run to a close. We'll be seeing you guys at part 29 for the beginning of the Snow Queen quest. For that, we have to turn back. For that, we got to go back through time, more or less, back to when the incident was just beginning. Oh, and also to the depths of Mikage ruins. The seal on the door to B8 has been lifted. Challenge the deepest reaches of the ruins. No thanks. See you next time, folks.